Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. I, Mehek Dhiman, your host for the day, would like to welcome you all. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for the day is why self-paced learning is essential, and to express their viewpoints on the same, we have with us Mrs. Urmi Mala ma'am, Principal of Summerfield School, Gurugram, and Dr. Nidhi Nijavan ma'am, Principal of GD Goenka Public School, Gurugram. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out your time to both the ma'ams. So let's start off with the session, ma'am. So,
Yeah, sure.
Firstly, Nidhi ma'am, over to you. Do you think that this self-paced learning? Firstly, would you please explain self-paced learning to the viewers? And do you think this learning is more effective, than the classroom learning?
See, we have had COVID times behind us, which have been very recent. So, if we talk of the self-paced learning, definitely in certain respects, it is good, I would say, because it is wherein the learner can develop their own schedules, can work on their resources in a very well-defined, structured manner. And of course, it is a great enabler for the different learning styles of a learner. If we go by the Harvard Garner's learning pedagogy tools, definitely it helps a lot, particularly in the intrapersonal intelligence, the learners who have predominantly the intrapersonal. It also goes well in a naturalistic intelligence schedule, but whether it is better than the classroom learning style, it is a very debatable thing, because there the peer learning of course makes a lot of difference, and if we look at the practicality of the thing, then definitely self-paced learning as compared to the classroom interactions will, again, as I said, it is a debatable, because your environment, your infrastructural environments, there are many other external factors also that make a lot of difference, because so in that way, I think we need to further explore into it, because most of the schools, if we talk of India in particular scenario, if leaving aside the metros, we talk of the rural India, we talk of the BE cities, self-paced learning may not be a very, very, acceptable, or a very, I would say, with the learning outcome, we may not be able to deliver there. So that's my bit at present on it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Urmimala ma'am, so do you agree with Nidhi ma'am? And do you think that, self-paced learning will develop a sense of ownership in students?
Yes, firstly, I do agree with Nidhi ma'am that keeping our wide cross-section of students in mind, and keeping in mind the cross-section of family backgrounds they come from, self-paced learning may not always be possible. Though self-paced learning has its own advantages, and compared to a totally controlled kind of an environment, it gives a student a kind of sense of ownership. It gives a student the ability to learn and not get frustrated with the speed of the entire class. It gives the student definitely a sense of ownership. And mostly what happens is, sometimes in a class, the pace may set in boredom for the high achievers, or the pace of the teacher may set in a kind of struggle for not so high achievers. In that case, self-paced learning is definitely very, very helpful. And in the post-COVID time, when we have been exposed to a tremendous amount of EdTech, educational technology, which is available to all of us, self-paced learning will become a very common feature in the near future, and I agree it will give students a sense of ownership in learning where they will feel responsible. We have to develop that. We are still at a beginning stage of EdTech taking off countrywide across all rural backgrounds. So once it takes off, yes, it will give a sense of ownership to the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Nidhi ma'am, over to you. Do you think that classrooms' way of teaching kind of, restricts the way of students' way of learning, and teaching too?
See, if we talk of high achievers or underachievers, definitely yes, the pace does get restricted in a manner. But then again, our resources, the classroom size, and the trainings of the facilitators makes a lot of difference how to have the culmination of the self-paced learning in the across the students. And yes, coming to your question, that the learning ability of the child, the learning outcomes may differ. If we have a self-paced learning, definitely for a high achiever, wherein if we take on as a subject like mathematics, for example, then definitely self-paced learning does provide a lot of room for research in the case of a self-paced learning. But for the high achievers, and if we also talk of the underachievers, at times, yes, definitely the kind of recap activities that can be done for self-paced learning definitely may produce better results than the classroom transactions.
Thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am. Urmimala ma'am, do you agree with Nidhi ma'am?
Yes, I do agree with her that it may restrict in certain ways, especially a classroom teaching is good for an average class. It affects, or the pace definitely affects the high achievers or the not so high achievers. So that way, a normal classroom teaching can restrict students in the way of their learning.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving forward, ma'am, how do you create a fun and enjoyable learning process at classrooms?
See, the last 2 years have really taught us how to bring technology into the classroom. Now, the four walls of the classroom are not the limits of education or the teaching learning process. Technology has been thrown open to us. That has been the best thing that has happened. And definitely to make a classroom enjoyable, we have to remember that gone are the days where the class teacher or the subject teacher is the end all of the educational process. It has to be collaborative. It has to be a two-way process. The lecture method of education is obsolete. Education has to be experiential, where a child experiences and then learns from it. So once you bring in experiential learning, once we listen to the children's concerns, we have to make them equal partners. We have to empower them, listen to their concerns, continuously checking how the children are doing. We have to bring in other methods of teaching so that the boredom is gone, because now after this 2 years of home education and online education, children are tending to get bored very fast. They cannot sit through a 40-minute period. It is difficult to keep them motivated enough to sit through the 40 minutes period. So we have to devise newer ways of education. The methodology has to change. And to bring in that, we have to integrate art. As we've been told, art integration into all subjects. We have to bring in role play. We have to bring in play. We have to take the children out. Models, activities, projects, everything has to be brought in. It is no more the days where just sitting in the classroom with a pen and a paper or a pencil and a notebook is enough. The children have to be taught to go from the known to the unknown. They have to be taught to uncover the syllabus. The teachers have to be trained to not only teach the syllabus, but to encourage children to discover and uncover the syllabus. And here, I would say a very important aspect is positive teacher training. They have to be trained where they can teach in a different manner. So, all these different aspects of education have to be brought in, where we encourage peer learning, where we encourage maybe sometimes the children to sit together in a group, sit in small groups, sit in big groups, group discussion. Endless ways are there to bring in, to break the monotony of the classroom. So there are endless ways where the older method of education has to be replaced with all these newer technologies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very beautifully explained. Nidhi, ma'am, would you like to add something to ma'am? And how do you suggest, that classroom should be a more fun place to learn and learning should be more enjoyable?
See, I think when a child is entering the school premises, the child enters at different age groups with different baggages on their mind. And as ma'am very categorically pointed out, COVID times has been harsh on the learners because they've just had that kind of screen time. Yes, has increased a lot, many things we have with the edtech coming in. And for the first time, if we look at India as a country, definitely the online learning system, the LMS has grown to a different pace. There's no doubt about it. But still, we did remarkably very good things, and the teachers immediately as they were thrown into the waters of COVID, they did learn themselves, and a lot of pedagogical tools got developed. Like there were we did a lot of online research ourselves so that the learning could be imparted to the children in a very structured manner. And if we today look at the scenario, definitely it has to be a mix of an online and offline transaction, because the smart boards and the curriculum, the pedagogical tools to deliver this curriculum has further been developed and are still in the process of developing. And to make the classroom interaction more enjoyable, experiential learning, yes, has been there for quite many years now. But yes, majority of the schools still, or majority of the schools, as I categorically mentioned, if we move out of metros in the B and the C grade cities, definitely the pedagogical tools that are being used or the classroom transaction that is being done is there's a lot of room for improvement. We're still into rote learning. Whereas if we look at the experiential manner, for example, a preposition class, if prepositions need to be taught to the children, they need to move about. There are many language games, there are puzzles, there are, now if we talk of the logical reasoning that has come up, the artificial intelligence coding, there are different concepts that are being covered if we talk of today. And to make the classroom transaction more enjoyable, we need, as teachers, as facilitators, we need to move out of the four walls of the classroom. Why cannot botanical gardens have been developed in the schools where the children can be taken and taught about different things? We're looking at theater in education, which is a beautiful tool if we look at to impart different concepts. Life skills has taken a major part in the timetables, and we have communicative. If we talk of the English or Hindi languages, if we talk of communicative English, communicative way of teaching has come up. So there are different ways we are developing, and we should. But yes, again, what is very, very important is the training of the teachers, which still has to go on, because there are tools, there are a lot of things that are available online wherein the teachers can use to make the classroom more effective. But then again, the training of the facilitators is to happen.
Thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am. And thank you so much, Urmimala ma'am, for being here today. It was wonderful, listening to your viewpoints and experiences. I hope you guys did enjoy it too.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank
Both
you.
of you. And for all the viewers watching us out, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a lovely day. Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Thank you.